think we should be good. And here we go. So, GM everyone, and thank you to the Nethermind team for joining us today. We're going to have Merrick, Jorge, and Ruben joining and answering some questions for us. And this is the first Validator Meetup of 2023. We host these every third Thursday of each month. And of course, without a POAP, we would not be able to commemorate this amazing event. So stick around until the end and we will give you instructions on how to claim it. Jorge, would you like to do the honors of answering some of the first questions? Or maybe Ruben?
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
Heard.
Yeah, so my first question for you is can you explain the Shanghai upgrade and if we have a planned release date?
To be honest, I think for a general review of Shanghai, probably Ruben or Marek would be most suited to answer this question.
Yeah, for sure. Do we have Merrick or Ruben in the chat here? Your lack of confidence is positive. Ruben, you might have to have push to talk turned on, so I believe that the default key is K. Or maybe V, depending on which version you have. I think he's having some issues with his mic. Give us a second here until we troubleshoot it.
My last call.
Do we by chance have Merrick on the call? Maybe he could answer some of the questions.
I think they're having mic problems with their mics.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, usually I think the default is push to talk. Either V or K would be your commands or your keys to uh, get your mic working. You can check that out by going into your settings down at the bottom left by your username, going into voice and video, and checking your input mode. Oh, I heard something there, Rubo. Maybe we could start some questions more on Sedge. Jorge, how about we ask some of those questions? Would that work for you?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. So, for solo stakers, what would be, um, the biggest benefit for them to use Sedge?
Well, I think we discussed this last time. So the thing is that Sedge facilitates the setup of the consensus client and execution client. So it's pretty complicated to set it up yourself if you're not like a tech person. So if you're just you want to do it as quickly as possible and you don't have any experience, Sedge allows you to just one command and you're up and running with the basic stuff you need to be a validator.
Awesome. Yeah, I know we covered it. We had a few questions after that call. People were asking what it was, so it's always nice to get a little revamp on it. Cool. So, in your opinion, you know, we can start validating on Gnosis Chain with one GNO. What do you think is the benefit of that, and what are the kind of downfalls of it?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I think that it's cool that the the entry amount to become a staker being so low allows you to because on Ethereum having to stake 32 ETH, which is a fairly large amount of money, puts the entry point like very high. So probably this is what brings up all these protocols for delegation and so on, because people cannot stake on their own because they need too much money for that. So having a low entry point for staking is kind of cool because it enables this decentralization of validators. So that's cool. That's like the cool part of it. The downside to it, I would say, is that people might not feel like an obligation. Like you are more prone to just not being checking your validator frequently and maybe let it go offline for a few minutes, for a few hours, because you have not much at stake at some point. But yeah, it's a trade-off every time. So I'm happy that we went with this approach here. It allows for home stakers and solo stakers, and it lowers the entry point for most people. So yeah.
Would you say that like home stakers are like an integral part of this network?
To be honest, I will have to see some statistics for that. I have nothing to. Whatever I say right now is just an uninformed decision. So
Okay,
uninformed opinion. So.
cool. Let's just check with Merrick or Ruben and see if their mics are working. Guys can give us a hello and see if it's working.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, perfect. Yes.
Uh, should I keep this push to talk button like pushed all the time?
Yes, you gotta hold it down for it to work.
Oh, that's a tricky option. All right, so everyone can hear me well?
Yes, we hear you. Amazing. Yeah,
Good.
so I have a few questions for you for the Shanghai upgrade if you're ready to go.
Yeah,
So
sure.
yeah, I was gonna say the first question was can you explain just a bit about the Shanghai upgrade and if we have a planned release date for it?
Yeah, so basically it's the yet another Ethereum hard fork, which brings a few new features, and probably the most anticipated one is withdrawals, and that's a feature that allows the beacon chain stakers to be able to withdraw their stakes that they staked, say, from 2 years ago till now. And those withdrawals could be partial or full, whatever they want. And all this withdrawals logic is going to happen on a consensus layer, the validation, etc. And after that, those being passed to execution layer clients such as Nethermind to actually mint those withdrawals to the given addresses. So this is the biggest feature Shanghai brings, and we are working on it. It's mostly done, so we are now testing with consensus clients with interoperability. So everything looks good so far. There are some minor issues like every time, everywhere. So we are working on them, and we expect a smooth transition to Shanghai probably in March or April. That's the optimistic estimations for now. Um, Yeah,
And
basically that's it about withdrawals. Yeah.
and like, is that being tested actively to see like how does that exactly like work in terms of
Sure.
testing?
This is now, yeah, we have now on third DevNet, and we plan to have four with more participants now, and probably in very soon we'll also have some shadow forks of Ethereum mainnet to test. So yeah, so far we are happy with the results, and we plan to to involve more validators to test how it goes. So everything is positive so far.
Nice,
So
nice. That's good to hear.
an important part of withdrawals is that Gnosis Chain is having like a custom implementation of withdrawals, which is different in some parts from Ethereum mainnet implementation. Mainly because on Ethereum you stake with ETH, which is the native currency on Ethereum, but on Gnosis Chain you stake with GNO, which is an ERC20, and it's bridged from Ethereum mainnet. So it's just kind of a token that lives on a smart contract. It's not the same as on Ethereum. So we're currently working on that custom implementation for Gnosis Chain, and we expect that everything will be ready to enable withdrawals at around the same time as Ethereum. But yeah, it's just good to be aware that it's a different implementation and the timeline might be similar, but might be also different.
So,
Yeah, that's
how did?
right. We okay, go ahead.
Sorry, no, yeah, no, keep going, keep going. I was gonna ask if that plays an effect, like being a gas token, and like the whole like paying for gas to withdraw. Is it different with GNO not being the gas token?
For the mainnet, there is no gas cost for the withdrawal operations. Uh, for
For Gnosis Chain,
Gnosis,
no, that there won't be for Gnosis also. So it's regarding that there won't be any gas.
yeah, so they're gonna be like all other system transactions right now for Gnosis, with no difference.
Yeah, so for the end user, so the validators and the end user won't notice the difference. They would just get the GNO, whereas they will have gotten the ETH in Ethereum. But on the implementation side, on the code, it looks different.
I gotcha. Cool, cool, cool. Um, and I believe there's an execution client and a consensus client upgrade, and they're two separate. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. And the idea for Gnosis especially to use everything to keep everything the same as we have for mainnet for consensus clients, and all the changes is gonna be on execution layer, so in this case in Nethermind, and we're actively working on it right now.
And I believe it was called Capella, or the upgrade for the. Uh, Obviously, we have the Shanghai upgrade, and then the other upgrade would be the Capella upgrade, and that's for the stakers. Is that correct?
Yeah, so the Capella is for consensus layer, and the Shanghai is for execution layer. So together it's called Capella, and they're gonna say release together.
And are there any other upgrades that are being considered within this upgrade of the network?
Yes, there are some minor ones like push zero, etc. Also, probably from now, there also should be this EOF stuff, but today it was decided to delay. I guess Marek knows more about it. Yeah. I'm not sure whether he can talk now. Let's check with him quick.
Yeah, Merrick, if you want to say hi, see if your mic's working. Might not be working still. You could also try joining from your phone if that helps as well. But maybe we could ask some more questions pertaining the actual yeah, withdrawal of things. Is it possible to do like a partial withdrawal of your stake? So in the case of Ethereum, like can you like pull out your rewards and then keep your stake, or can you pull out half your stake and then stop your validator? How does that all play in effect?
Yeah, actually, there are two types of withdrawals. The one, say, partial withdrawal, and the other one, full withdrawal or voluntary exit. And for those kind of withdrawals, to get your funds on your address, you have to change your BLS address to the execution layer one, and there are some special messages to sign and send to Beacon Node. But all that complicated logic it takes place on a consensus layer, and it's under their responsibility. So at Nethermind, or any other execution client, we just receive the withdrawal list and blindly process them. So we're trusting consensus layer that everything we receive is right and correct. We just do a regular data integrity check, and means the funds to the given addresses. But yeah, it's possible to do again like voluntary exit, take all your funds, or just take the excess one and continue staying as a validator.
And I'm assuming that when you're processing these transactions, it goes in order. Oh, there we go. I can hear you, Merrick.
Oh, great. Can you hear me?
Awesome.
Yeah, great.
So I believe the question was more so about the Capella upgrade and its role.
Mm-hmm. So, as Ruben said, Capella is the name for consensus clients and Shanghai for execution clients, but generally it's like the same upgrade. And also, I heard that Ruben mentioned about push zero and warm up Coinbase. So there is two more EIPs that it's going together with withdrawals. There are small optimization across EVM. And also we have some interesting EIP that is prerequisite for big EOF. EOF is changing the format of EVM. So it's like it will be big upgrade. And in Shanghai, we are adding just one small EIP that will allow us doing it later.
And the follow up to that was there any in between upgrades that are happening in that? I know you just mentioned one. Is there more than just that one?
Sorry, once again.
Are there any other upgrades that are being considered within the timeline of Capella and Shanghai that are not specifically those?
No, I don't think so. Maybe only changing rewards, but Jorge will probably know more about it.
Sorry, I didn't get the last part of the question. Sorry.
Yeah. So if we have more upgrades planned for Shanghai.
No, So that's the only thing we have planned for Shanghai. So we'll basically follow the same upgrades that we are having for Ethereum mainnet, just with the custom implementations for withdrawals, and that's it.
I got you.
And yeah, one more thing. It's not in EIPs, but we also added small changes in execution in Engine API. Engine API is basically the API that connect execution and consensus clients, and one of that is adding block value. And the idea behind that is to fight a bit with censorship. So if, for example, MEV Boost will produce the worst block, then our local execution client we will prefer local block. But this is like only in context of mainnet right now, because on Gnosis we don't have any debugs.
Cool. Now, kind of back on the withdrawals. I have a few more questions that I believe Ruben was saying that you're processing the transactions. Are they processed in the same order as they're coming in, or is there a random execution on it? How does that work? And on top of that, are there limits to withdrawals? Per block, and is there an estimation for that?
So starting from the end, there are only 16 withdrawals per block. That's the consensus layer limitation for now. And yeah, they are strictly ordered, and we receive and process them as they arrive.
Yeah, and in mainnet we are doing it as a last step, and on Gnosis I think it will be the same as the last transaction in the block.
I gotcha.
Yeah,
Cool,
that's
cool.
correct. That's correct. So we're processing them after processing all the transactions. So that's the last processing step of an entire block processing operation.
Are there any risks to multiple people exiting at once over like a certain threshold, or is the system adjusted, automatically in terms of like of validators?
As far as I know, the consensus clients handle this. I'm not sure about the details, but it won't happen like catastrophically and everyone can exit because of this limitation of 16 withdrawals and given the number of validators there. But there are some algorithmic restrictions also, but this is a question more to consensus layer developers.
Cool. I have one more question for you guys. So for stakers wishing to exit, what is the process, and what is the minimum waiting time period for the withdrawal request?
As far as I know, when they sent the BLS to execution change message, which is as I said, changing their BLS address to the execution layer address. After that message, they probably have to wait 5 days to get their funds. And normally, if you are a validator and staying active and you have set you configured your execution layer address, your withdrawal address, you will get some funds every 5 days, if there are any.
Cool. If the audience has any questions, feel free to either unmute and ask the Nethermind team, or type them in chat, and I can read them out. Let's just see here. I'm just checking the chat here if they have replied here. I think John made a thread somewhere in the validator channel. Let me just check.
How you doing, everyone? Sorry, I'm a little late. It looks like no one's responded in the validator thread, but I have a question, and sorry if you've already answered this, but roughly, when do you think the Shanghai hard fork will happen? Is that like end of Q1?
Well, optimistically speaking, yes, it's probably end of March, maybe in April. So now we expect around that time, and so I don't know, and no one wants to delay, so there are a lot of discussions regarding features, etc. But some optimistic guess it's the end of March and mid-April, something around that.
Yeah, I agree with Ruben. I think I have the same estimation. And we can observe it, like, for example, when Chiado will move to Shanghai, And when we will start having some first devnets for Gnosis, we will know more about the timeline.
I'm going to chime in really quick. This is Billy. Question in general for validators. As a U.S. user, concerns of OFAC and general usage from my internet service provider. The general cost of getting a validator up and running is kind of a turnoff for people that I try to say, hey, you should run your own validator. Check out AdaptNode or something, and it's $2,000. What would you say would be the best and cheapest way to get a validator running that would future-proof it for a while? And then if it goes down, you have to upgrade, the fear of getting slashed, right? Of like, oh, I have to change machines or upgrade. What's the best approach, or what's the best guide that I can point people to?
So I guess it's like more DevOps related question, to be honest. We are more EL developers, but I'm sure maybe we can reach out to our Anchor team and answer this question better.
I think I can build on that question a little bit, and maybe it would clarify it. So let's say I want to be a node runner. I'm interested in securing Gnosis Chain, and but I don't have $2,000. So I say to myself, all right, I'm going to go to like the thrift store, and I'm going to get a used laptop for $100. Merlinsky, can you mute yourself?
Die anderen, genau. Bei den Mistaken können wir einen Voluntary Exit machen. Das heißt, dann sind die im Grunde, dann laufen die Nodes ab dem Tag nicht mehr.
Sorry. Yeah, can I load up Sedge on a laptop, like a cheap laptop, and start validating on Gnosis Chain?
Yeah, for example, my laptop, which is not like very, very good and new, can handle mainnet, and if my laptop can handle mainnet, Gnosis is more lightweight. So yeah, I think so. You can do it on old laptop. And the important thing is to have quite good IOPS. So SSD, the older disk might have problems. Yeah, generally speaking, I think you can do it on old laptop.
Yeah, so like theoretically, you could just buy an old laptop, swap out the hard drive for an SSD, and then load Sedge, which is basically geared towards like non-technical folks, and start validating on Gnosis Chain.
Yeah, so you can without money, you can test it, right? You can run node and see, for example, some statistic, or even like if you run the node and you see that your node is able to follow the head, there is no delay, it means that your hardware settings are okay. You don't need to set a validator.
And Billy, I mean, I'm based in the U.S. as well. I would probably always have a VPN running. Definitely on my DAP node. But if I'm gonna try and spin up a validator on like a cheap computer or something like that, then I would make sure that the VPN is always on, just for obvious security reasons and like your anonymity, as being in the United States and everything.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. I'm like looking at the original cost of being a validator. I'm like, hey, you should be a validator, and obviously the resistance is why, as though it only cost $100, in GNO, right? To basically a validator, you can use your old machine, and then get into this conversation, and I don't really have good answers for that. as for the fear of getting slashed, because you see all these big horror stories of people getting slashed on Ethereum and internet going down and ISPs,
Oh,
data
I,
capping you.
I can answer this fear of being slashed. It's like because people think that okay, they will be slashed by strange reasons, but generally the slashing will occur only if you try to sign the same block with on the same slot. So you try to trick the system, and it often occurs when you're trying to build some weird backup settings. So if you run one node and you are afraid of being slashed, I think it's not possible if you don't get some strange infrastructure.
Definitely, what I'm looking for is something that I could point to that would say, hey, this team has this explainer about all these issues that you're having, and pointing to something like, hey, check this out and read this and then see what you think, versus me trying to sell them the idea.
I agree. So
Yeah.
clear article about how slashing can happen, what are penalties because of being offline, and so on and so on.
Yeah. I mean, marketing wise, that'd probably be a good one. Like, set up a validator for less than $200. That would be overall like that. That should be the flagship in a sense. Not for the team. I'm just saying in general at this point.
Yeah. Check out the chat. GLC Stake is sharing some really cool setups that they put together for less than $200.
Yeah. I'm checking it out. That looks great. Yeah, that should be like a big campaign in general.
I mean, I'd also say this is not financial advice, obviously, but like, why should someone spin up a validator? Like, if they're not into decentralization, or just like they're not really into peer-to-peer networks and stuff like that, I would say this GNO is like very undervalued currently, and so therefore, if you spin up a validator, like, you're going to make GNO, and the yield is I think around 15% right now, which is really good. So I think those are all easy things to kind of connect with and sell why you should spin up a validator.
Also, on that note, if you are trying to spin up a validator on Ethereum, Gnosis is a great testing ground, right? It's all the same stuff, way less at risk. So why not?
That's pretty much my pitch to myself and to others. Like, practice on Gnosis first, right? Get your hands dirty. If all fails, you lose $100. Big deal versus losing a whole bunch of ETH. So that's been kind of a pitch, but it's like I just get bombarded with questions that I don't have the experience on, and my fail safe is DApp node, but the price point is kind of a turnoff for many. So looking to see the best options, and looking at this Twitter and just reading that further, I'm like, all right, this sounds way more interesting, especially that I'm part of like 15% on Gnosis. I have I'm long on Gnosis overall. Obviously, I'm here, but it's just a good price point too, or good incentive.
Definitely. I mean, it's a lot cheaper than Ethereum, and you get exposure to GNO, which is essentially an index on the Ethereum ecosystem. So if you're like, oh well, I really wish I had more ETH. Well, just get more GNO, because whatever ETH is going to do, basically GNO is going to do. It's a high beta, probably has more upside to ETH than ETH anyways.
No arguments here.
Cool. Do we have any more questions in the audience for the Nethermind team? If not, the Nethermind team has any closing thoughts on Shanghai that they want to talk about, or anything like that, please guys go ahead. floor is yours. If not, we could always wrap this up. And let's not forget that we have a POAP. And I'll let Armand, if your mic is working, to let people know how they can claim their POAP. That would be awesome.
Yeah, so maybe final thing from us. So if you have any like problems or maybe a proposition of improvements for our node, feel free to reach out us on our Discord channel because we always have dedicated developer who is helping community to set up or to resolve some problems with the node.
I was wondering if you could just quickly talk about Sedge. I know we mentioned it, but for those who are unaware of what Sedge is, maybe it'd be useful to just talk about it now.
Yeah, of course, I can answer. So basically, Sedge is the tool that because configuration is not very easy because you need to set up two clients and maybe for mainnet you also consider setting up MEV boost, and Sedge make these things easy. So that is the idea.
Cool. So I don't think Armand's mic is working, but he did message me and he said, if you guys want your POAP, you can share your address in the Discord chat here, and we will mint them for you, and they will show up magically in your collection. So with that being said, we'll give another minute or so for anyone to ask questions. Let me just double check the chats here and see if there's anything else that has been asked. Yeah, I think we can close it off. Yeah, thank you, Nethermind team, for taking the time to answer some of these questions. We're going to be posting this on our YouTube channel, and we're going to be clipping a few of the key points made on Shanghai, and we're going to be pasting them on our Twitter. So check those out maybe in a week or so. Hopefully we'll have those done by then. And if not, yeah, thanks everyone for coming. And yeah, we'll see you in 3 weeks from now. We'll have another meetup with the team.
Hi, Thank you guys.
Yeah,
Before-
just to
before that,
reiterate,
just sharing and ETH address on the chat box, or just ping me. We will send your POAP. Thank you for joining, everyone.
just to reiterate really quickly, so the Validator Meetup is every third Thursday of the month. So the next one will be February 16th at 4 p.m. UTC, 5 p.m. CET, same time as today. We'll see you then.
Thank you. See you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nethermind.
Thank you.